Hi, Professor. This is Yasaman Shabani, and the topic of our project is setting up a pharmaceutical plant in London to produce COVID-19 drugs and assessing the related financial risk. As the world has faced COVID-19, which has high transmission ability, it is really essential to discover the medicine to treat it. However, no specific medicine has been found. Many antiviral drugs have been examined to find the most effective ones. Hydroxychloroquine is one of the drugs that has high efficacy to treat this pathogen. It has been used to cure some diseases such as malaria. The other drug which is helpful to treat COVID-19 is remdesivir. Some diseases including MERS and SARS are treated by using it. COVID-19 pandemic is spreading rapidly throughout the world, which results in affecting the global economy adversely. So, numerous countries that have tackled economic shocks have to solve their economic challenges, particularly the ones that are related to their healthcare system. Therefore, price reduction of drugs is really necessary to make sure that all countries, specifically the low-income and middle-income ones, have an access to required drugs. Various factors containing the price of raw material, production, and maintenance costs influence the price of the drugs. In addition, some risks, including finance, natural hazards, competitors, and others, treat the pharmaceutical industry. The objective of our group is to investigate the factors affect the cost of the drugs and assessing the finance risk in order to find which one is the most affordable for people and profitable for investors, and manage the risk in the difficult conditions that may occur. During the investigation, some techniques such as net present value and budget calculation are used for risk assessment.
Hello, Professor. This is Saib Sheikh Alagotla. Now I'm going to discuss about the budget and financial characteristics of our pharmaceutical plant, which are going to set up in London. Investment is required to set up any industry. So, to invest in our pharmaceutical plant, we have taken a loan of 50 to 60 million dollars, and thereafter the remaining investment is being done by our investors. Another key parameter which is involved in our financial characteristics is the inflation rate. So inflation rate like varies from year to year. So in 1 year it may rise and in 1 year it may decline. So we are taking the Canada's most recent value of 2019, which is 1.25%. And coming to the rate of return is also a very essential parameter in determining the profit we are going to make out of the industry. So we have taken we have taken approximation of 12% as per the pharmaceutical trends in Canada. And coming to the production of drugs, we need to make a choice between like what drug to produce in our plant. And as COVID-19 is going on, we have decided to produce hydroxychloroquine and remdesivir. So we are trying to make profit out of manufacturing these two drugs. And coming to the economic analysis, the total investment for our plant is $100 million, and as told earlier, we are trying to take a bank loan, which is 60% of the total investment, and the remaining investment, which is being invested by our investors, is $40 million. And the operation cost and the maintenance cost is being roughly estimated and is being taken as $2 million and $4 million respectively. Now we are going to incorporate the inflation rate in these two aspects, as the operation cost and the maintenance cost will be increasing day by day, and we have neglected the depreciation cost here. And coming to the production, and this is also a rough estimation. For example, as told earlier, we are trying to produce HCQ and remdesivir. As per the market rate of HCU, we are trying to make roughly around 223 tons of HCQ, which generates a profit of $47.8 million. At the in the very same way, if you are trying to produce remdesivir of 2014.9 kg of remdesivir, we're able to make a profit of 89.6 million dollars. So we are planning to have a decision tree, and we try to calculate the net present value by which we can determine which drug is relatively giving us a higher rate of return. Thank you.
Hello, Professor. This is Sumant. As our project's major decision issue is about what drug to manufacture, to solve this problem, we estimated the final net present value for both the cases and came out with the best alternative using decision tree analysis. From the budget and economic analysis of the project are provided by Abhishek, we have obtained the following parameters. Inflation rate is about 1.25%, required rate of return is 12%, interest rate is about 12%, and life expectancy is 15 years, and the net present value that we are going to calculate is based upon the formula given here. Calculating NPV of the project for the case to manufacture hydroxychloroquine drug. These are the cash flows that are required to calculate NPV. Investment. This investment of $40 million is obtained apart from the investment that is gained from bank loan. And next, bank loan. Bank loan payments include loan principal and interest paid on the principal amount that is remaining every year. Operation costs. Operation costs are set to $2 million, and future years operation costs behavior also include the inflation rate. Maintenance costs. Maintenance costs are set to $4 million, and the future years maintenance cost behavior include the inflation rate. Production. This is the only positive cash flow that is obtained from the project, and this $47.8 million that is obtained from selling 223 tons of the drug that is produced from the plant. And the total cash flow is obtained by subtracting the maintenance operation and the bank loan cost from the production. And NPV is calculated from the formula as mentioned before. Now calculating NPV for the case 2, that is to manufacture remdesivir drug. The cash flows like investment, bank loan, operation and maintenance costs would remain same as in the case 1. The only cash flow that is going to change is the production cash flow, and it is about $89.6 million for this case. It is obtained by selling about 2100 kg of the drug that is produced annually for this case. And the total flow is obtained by subtracting the maintenance, operation and bank loan cash flows from the production. And NPV is calculated same as the formula used, and it includes a rate of return and inflation rate. Now if you look at the decision tree for the case 1, to manufacture hydroxychloroquine drug, the cumulative NPV is about $167.02 million. Whereas for the case 2, to manufacture remdesivir drug, it is about $433.69 million. But if we look at the quantity of the drug produced, hydroxychloroquine drug is produced to about 223 tons per annum. But whereas remdesivir drug is produced in only about 2000 kgs per annum. Though the quantity of the drug production is high for the case 1, but remdesivir is viewed as the most promising treatment for COVID-19. So if we look at the treatment issue and about the NPV also, we are gonna proceed with the case 2 for the remaining of our project.
Yep. Hello everyone, this is Solomon Nandi. Today we'll be talking about the technical analysis of the project. So imagine there are two boards in front of you. So to get into one of the either of the board you will select, you look at few aspects like which one do I need to get into. So now we have the two boards are the remdesivir and hydroxychloroquine. So before getting into them, you will look at few aspects. Those are called as like the availability of the raw materials, production costs, and the return of your money at the end of the day. It should be good business, right? So you should be looking at that too. So in front of you is the technical analysis, which includes the production cost per day in US dollars. So out of all these, remdesivir, favipiravir, hydroxychloroquine, and azithromycin. Out of all these, the costliest drug here in front of you is favipiravir, and the next costliest drug is remdesivir, which is like $0.93 per day. I mean, the production cost per day is like $0.93 per day, whereas favipiravir is like $1.23. And then now we know the cost aspects of remdesivir. So now let's get into the second one, which is the drug action, the activity, drug, or the efficiency. Say which acts fastly. You know, coronavirus is a deadly disease. Once it gets into you, it, like the virus inside, doesn't stop replicating, which will kill your immunity and result in casualties. So the faster the drug, the better treating of COVID-19. So now here these drugs all vary from 10 to 28 days in the mode of drug action. I mean, in the aspect of drug action. So out of all these drugs, the drug which takes 10 days for action is remdesivir. I mean, it is costly, but it has it is the most efficient drug right now. So with the information we have, we still yet can decide which boat to get into. So we'll be using a few other aspects which will help us decide out of the best out of the two drugs. Now those tools are usage of histograms and the hypothesis testing. We'll be using the histograms just to compare both of them on the basis of their manufacturing and production cost, which one is easy to manufacture, like which one is easy to get the suppliers, the raw material stuff, and the production cost, obviously, because for the production of remdesivir there is cyanide included in it and few other hazardous materials, whereas for hydroxychloroquine the process isn't that long. It is very easy process in the, like, coming to hydroxychloroquine. Like, these aspects are compared using histogram, like take the time, the costs, and the risk included in putting up the plant in both of them, in either of them. Like there are like environmental risks too, right? So we'll be comparing all of them together in the technical analysis of the project. And in the usage of histograms, we'll be looking even at the drug efficiency of both of them, just to find out the better acting and efficient drug. And the hypothesis testing. For the hypothesis testing, the area which we'll be particularly looking at is the drug efficacy on particular population. Like we are putting this plant right here in Canada, so we'll be looking at the Canadian population drug efficacy studies of both the hydroxychloroquine and remdesivir drug here.
Hello everyone, this is Fatima Musalla and this presentation will be continued by Manoj and me. So as it is illustrated here in this chart, these are risks in this pharmaceutical factory, including profitability risk, risk of compliance, risk in strategy, in our reputation and ethics. As many factories, we would have many issues with environment and health and safety, risk in technology, risk in growth and people. We have such an example for each of the discs that I mentioned. For example, in strategy, we can mention some delay in commercialization of products due to challenges including technological innovation, clinical trial, or maybe biotechnology drugs which are gaining traction and increasing competitive pressure and traditional business model based on chemical drug.
Hello Professor, this is Manoj. I would like to add some more risk analysis tools so that we can select which drug we need to produce for our industry. Starting with the fishbone diagrams, we will
like to inspect the production and what are the parameters that affect the production and the quality of a drug. There are four M's that affect this: manpower, machinery, material, and method. Starting with the manpower, there can be a human error while monitoring the parameters of the reaction on the shop floor. It can be a negligence or some carelessness. Might be a case that they are not paid enough, so they don't focus or concentrate on their work. Second one is machinery. That is machine error or a machine failure that can affect the quality of the product. There can be case that a part of equipment is also damaged or not working properly, like a pressure gauge or a temperature gauge. That is, pressure and the temperature is not showing properly. That can mislead the worker working over there to maintain the required conditions for the process. Third one is materials. Sometimes it has seen that raw material comes in lumps as well as some with some impurities. So if the reaction is using some impurities product, it definitely affects the quality of the final product. The fourth one is the method. That is, sometimes the supervisor or the instructor has not given the workers proper instruction like how to proceed. So it might also affect the production and the quality of the drug. Moving forward to the risk involved in both the products, that is HCQ and remedies. Firstly, talk about the health risk. According to the data by FDA on July 1st, 2020, it has been stated that the remdesivir is showing a great positive signs, as 60% of the people who took remdesivir is showing a speedy recovery, whereas HCQ is not that much showing any positive effect on recovery or fatal. Other thing, other risk is operational risk. As we know that the raw material of HCQ is cheaper than compared to remdesivir. So if we have any negligence in producing the product in remdesivir, we will suffer a great loss. Moving on third, that is commercial risk. We should study the supply and demand of both these products. As we know, due to COVID, the demand of these medicines is high, so it's not that much commercial risk right now. The fourth one is financial risk. As we discussed earlier, the raw materials of remdesivir is quite high. So any inventory or anything happens with the product can suffer a great loss, financial loss in remdesivir. After that, we have done SWOT analysis. That is, we compared the strength, weakness, opportunity, and threat for both HCQ and remdesivir. That can be seen in the group report. Before finishing the risk analysis, I like to add some risk mitigation. Starting from the manpower risk, that is, we need to have more trained workers, more focused workers on the shop floor, as well as one supervisor who's always looking into them so that there should be no negligence in the work or while maintaining the parameters of the reaction. Second is that machine failure. So to prevent that, we should have the preventive maintenance of each and every part of the equipment that is used to make these drugs time to time, so that there should be minimum or zero machine failure. Third thing is that as I mentioned earlier, the raw material sometimes not proper or is impure with some impurities. So the raw material should pass from different screens testing before it comes to the shop floor for using. Other thing is that we need to be ready for any competition, because we know there are a lot of companies working on the vaccine of COVID-19. So we should not produce much of the inventories of these products. And the final thing is that we should see the demand and supply of these medicines before producing any amount of the drug.
Finally, after considering all these various factors like production cost, manufacture cycle, raw material availability, and drug efficiency, better rate of return in market, net present value, and all risk assessments, investors decided to produce remdesivir and hope that it will help many people in our community. We hope so. And thank you for watching. Bye.